Mic check 1, 2. Okay. Hello, my beautiful friends. I am here at El Pescador beach in Malibu. I just took a quick nap. I don't know how long I was sleeping. I just headed up here after helping the boys at school, and as soon as I heard the sound of the ocean, I just relaxed and passed out. And I woke up, there was already nobody here, and I feel great. Today in the morning I recorded a video and I deleted it, and I was going to re-record it. But I was waiting to kind of get out of that energy because it was a very reactive energy, and the entire video was sort of about that. It was the day basically started out me being in my imbalanced state, being in what I call my masculine energy. And please hear me out, not to say that my masculine is imbalanced. It is very balanced. It is when it comes fully to the forefront and my feminine energy steps back, that's when I'm entirely, in my entirety, I am then imbalanced in a way. I feel imbalanced. I feel like I'm not myself, right? The city acts as a medium. It is very cool to learn about fermentation to understand what it is that I'm talking about, because we are all sort of elements, right? We consist of certain things, certain aspects that makes us, puts us into a certain element, right? Then when we immerse this element into a medium, we will bring forth something from that element. Let's say we immerse an apple into a brine solution. We will bring forth certain acetobacter, let's say, from the apple, right, to make it salted into a salted apple. So we create a medium that is conducive of that which we want. If we immerse apple into a sugary solution, let's say a honey water solution, we can turn it into alcohol. We will bring forth a different type of element from that apple, like yeast, and it will start turning itself into alcohol, and then other elements will come because now that solution turns into alcohol, right? So it depends on which medium you immerse yourself, things will come to the forefront. But all of those things are equally a part of you, right? So when I say something like this, like my divine masculine or my divine feminine, I'm not talking about something outside of myself. I'm not talking about some illusion, right? In my mind, like there's this ideal divine masculine in my mind or ideal divine feminine in my mind. No, that is not what I'm talking about. There is just this energy, masculine, things that I associate with masculinity, masculine energy, things that I associate with feminine energy. And there is a divine union of these energies. When they come into balance, I am balanced. Yet when I am immersed, let's say, into a solution like Shasta, they come into balance. There is a divine union that happens when I'm there. When I'm here in Los Angeles, I'm immersed deeply into a solution. It's sort of like a drunken medium, drunken, drugged medium full of broken dreams, and then some dreams that did come true, but it's just so much. And this specific medium, because of my specific who I am, my aspects, right, that are already like sensitive, or the aspects within me that are active, that are still active, that are still non-reactive, right? So if you immerse me into the city solution, then the masculine aspect, or things that I associate with my masculine aspect, come to the forefront. And the masculine on his own is very balanced. When he's balanced, when he's in union with the feminine. But when that union tips and he comes to the forefront, kind of leaving the divine feminine just hanging by the thread, then I as a whole become imbalanced. And this morning, that's how I woke up. I woke up cursing out at the world in my mind. You know, the city energy already getting to me. And then I watched a video about this girl making. I wanted to know how to make lemonade. I already made a couple of lemonades for my kids by the recipes, and I'm trying different recipes to see which one I like the most, which one to stick with for a long, long time. So I make honey lemonade and stuff, and they seem to like it. So I'm watching this video of this girl while getting ready to go to school and set up for the market, for the kids' slime market. And this girl, she's like, you know, she's like everything perfect, makeup perfect, baby sitting on her hand, on her arm, and she's making 2 different types of lemonades, and she's calling her husband to try them, and he tries, and he's like, honey, you know, this one is the one that I'm gonna take with me to work. And she goes, there you go, there is your answer, which one is the best. This one is made with local honey. And then she goes into this whole spiel about there is this gadget that she has, that it's an attachment to this machine that she has, that probably not everybody will have, but because it's for squeezing lemons, right? But because she's so good, because she drinks fresh squeezed orange juice, that she had to get that attachment to treat herself, because she's very, very healthy and drinks so much orange juice that it's justified, right? That she has this super duper attachment. And I just wanted to throw up. I just wanted it, you know, I was so annoyed with that. And that's how I know that's my divine masculine is here, because he is much less tolerant with this type of stuff. If I can smooth it out, he's like not going to have it. And the things that he says, you know, it's better that they're not heard by others. He's funny though, and he speaks the truth, but you know, much less tolerant, much less like a lawyer would handle a situation, right? Trying to keep just peace. But when I look at that, I'll explain how he feels. When I look at that utopia, that perfect life that we're all trying to create, sometimes with, you know, all these gadgets and, you know, this attachment and that attachment, and, you know, the best lemonade with the bestest, most organicest, localist ingredients. It is going to be just, you know, the most wonderful thing in the world, and I'm going to film how I do it, how I live like that, with all the attachments and all the most organiciest ingredients, and my wonderful husband who is going to take my wonderful lemonade to work, and then at the very end I'm going to include all the cute stuff, all the cute little pictures and like outtakes where we're kissing and oh, you know, I don't know honestly who is more delusional or drugged, that type of a representation of a female, okay, let me explain, or a person who is on fentanyl, homeless person on the street, because these are two, to me it's exactly the same thing. These are two aspects of the same thing. One is like this complete utopia, homesteading, making perfect lemonade, baby on the arms, and this girl is crying and she's not losing it. She's just being so calm and collected. And the other end of the same exact thing to me is, you know, a homeless on fentanyl, kicking it and enjoying himself that way. Both are addictions. The addiction to this utopian lifestyle through purchasing of gadgets and attachment, it's an addiction that never ends. It is a drug. It's like being a drug addict, only in a different way, right? Only this is more. You can present it more in a more beautiful way, and people buy it, but it creeps in just like any addiction. You buy a gadget, and then you're using it for like that one time, that one video, and then it stands there, and then there is new gadget and a new gadget and a new gadget, you know, and it is a never-ending thing. It is a never-ending story. Meanwhile, the husband is gone working, right? Because you need to get the gadgets. No pun intended, meaning that I just see so much wrong in it, in a way that then we're kind of blaming the male figure for not being as much with the child. It's like this. It's a thing, right? It's a scenario that we are transcending, and this is a scenario that I've been transcending. So this homesteader versus this homeless person, it's like I am trying to transcend this thing and end up somewhere in the middle, like what I consider to be relaxed state, like gadget great, no gadget great, having no attachments, let's put it that way, no extra attachments for any of my gadgets. If it requires an extra attachment, guess what? I probably am pushing it too far, and that's where I have to stop and see if I can do it with my hands or some other way, because anytime I give in and I'm like, extra attachment, and then these attachments just start pouring in, and then I need this attachment and this attachment and this attachment. It's like I open myself up to that. So there I was pouring all of that out, and I was going to another award ceremony. This is like, I don't know, however many award ceremonies I've attended, which is fantastic. I love that my children are getting awards. I love them dearly. Sometimes I just want to be outside. I want these awards to be outside on the beach, so we can all just run around in the sand, or maybe somewhere in the mountains, or maybe somewhere in the forest, and celebrate that way, you know? I know it might be a little too much to ask, but I was frustrated. You should have seen me. I begin to spit, curse. It's crazy. It's crazy. I wanted to record and post it, and then I decided maybe not. But this actually brings me to a very cool point. And that point is that we all are each other's aspects, and we're constantly transcending each other, and we're constantly transcending these aspects of one another. And you know how this homesteader, this crazy homesteader, is an aspect of me, and sometimes it when I stay when I do too much at home, which what I've been doing, you know, staying up late, waking up early, making sure that everything is the way it should be, and then bam, you know, I basically I ground this energy in the form of this video like this, and then I look at it and I'm like, oh, am I going there again? No, 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 no. I'm gonna turn around and go in the other direction. But this happens all the time, and a lot of times we're actually manifesting our own aspects in a form of other people. I will give you an example of my recent outing that I had. It was a tour that I took with these tour guides, and this is my it's not the first time that I take this tour. I really like it, and I am a returning tourist. So during this tour, in the beginning of the tour, we were greeted by both of our tour guides. Oh, well, first this first original tour guide, he is a very hippie-like tour guide. He smells a little bit like weed, you know, a little like ruggedy looking. He is a family guy, lives in the forest, sort of. You know, he's the original tour guide of this specific tour. And as he was explaining to us what was going to happen and how this works, the second tour guy comes in and, you know, also introduces himself. And this tour guide, he is very well educated. He actually got like a full ride into a couple of incredibly renowned universities, and he has translated several ancient texts from different languages into English, and I mean, it's just like beyond. And he comes in, and he also lives in nature, but in a very nice home with his lovely lady, and so he's not the original guide, but they've been guiding together. They've been guiding people together for several years, and I believe that they've known each other since they were very, very young. So this is what happens. Let's let the helicopter pass. I love these helicopters. They look so cool. Oh my God. There is a military base not too far from here. So we get all these cool things that are flying in the air, and I get to see them. Very, very impressive. Well, coming back to the story. So there is like about 15 people who are taking the tour, and the new guide, the one that just arrived, let's call him the genius, and the other, let's call him the hippie, right? The genius and the hippie. So the genius guide arrived, and he's like, guys, I actually woke up extra early today, and I made some phone calls, and I made some stops here and there, and I've got us into a couple of incredible places that I didn't know whether we're going to be able to visit or not, but we've got a green light. We're going to go. It's going to be awesome. So the hippie guide is like, oh, wow, good job. Like, well, thanks, buddy, for doing that, you know? And then as we arrived to our first place, again, the genius guide gathers us together and explains what the plan is, and then he says, okay, so I'm gonna take you here. And the moment he says I'm gonna take you here, and he's explaining so beautifully and everybody's listening, the other guy, the hippie guy, just loses it in front of everybody. He's like, hey buddy, it's not I'm gonna take you, it's we're gonna take you, remember? You buddy, how about you start thinking about what you're saying? Maybe it's time you took a back seat, huh? And everyone's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, funny, not funny. And and then this genius guide is like, oh yeah, of course, I am sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Of course, it's us, we're gonna take you. He smoothes it out like nothing happened, very, very calm, collected, just continues talking, tries to always say we, does not pay attention, does not stop the conversation, does not make it uncomfortable for anybody else. The hippie guy, meanwhile, walks away. He walks away, takes a few steps, talks to some other guy there, and then, but the conversation here is continuing with the genius guide explaining things to everybody else. And then the hippie guide comes back in, he's a little bit more calm, and then we all go. And something very similar happened the other time I was there. And I thought about, that first time I thought, wow, this hippie guy, he is really something. He is very, he is not in control of his emotions. Very reactive, very insecure. So I had, some sort of judgments about him based on his behavior. But this time around, because I've learned this specific thing over the past year, this is how I saw the situation. I saw two aspects of the same being trying to transcend each other or to coexist. I'll explain. So the hippie guy is an internal aspect of the genius guy. The genius guy has the hippie inside of him. He has the hippie inside of him, and the one who is, a little bit more reactive, and maybe likes to have a smoke here and there, maybe likes to just be free in the woods, but he's got a good hold on that hippie, right? He accepts him, and this could have been seen, we saw it in the way he was interacting with him, even when that hippie was trying to come to the forefront, make himself known, because clearly he's accepted that aspect within himself. So in his external interaction with that aspect, he did not react, right? It was like nothing happened. Maybe somewhere he felt a certain way, but he knew how to maintain his hormonal balance to make sure that his emotions are not taking the best of him in front of everybody, right? So it was very, very cool the way he handled it. And this shows me that he has transcended that aspect of himself, meaning he brought it into a relaxed state, a state where it does not affect him, does not make him react. Now, the hippie guy has the genius guy as his aspect too, but because he chose a different route in life, he chose not to go to the university. I don't know, maybe he did, but he chose like a little bit of a different lifestyle, отшельник, meaning he's literally living in the woods, very hippie kind of lifestyle. He still has the genius within him, that unrealized genius within him. He is what is the right word, you guys? Lucy. He is rejecting. He he feels, he despises that within himself, right? He clearly cannot stay non-reactive when the genius comes out, right? He has very strong feelings. He has not transcended that within him yet. So the moment you touch that, it's a very strong outburst of emotions, very strong reaction, right? It's like when somebody touches a certain nod in your body during massage time, and you go, ah, you know. So clearly that hippie guy has the genius within him, but he's irritated because he has not transcended his genius. He has neither accepted the fact that he is giving up that within himself for a simple life, and he also, or he did not go for it, to become the same exact genius, because he knows that he has it within him, but he's just not doing anything about it. So it's untranscended. You see, he hasn't decided yet. Another great example of this aspect, and believe me, we're all each other's aspects. You think you see a person in front of you, but it is your aspect that you are meant to transcend. That's why we all have certain feelings towards each other. And some aspects we agree to accept, right? Through, let's say, marriage, right? We're like, till death do us apart. I accept you the way you are. And then we realize sometimes that we have outgrown that aspect of ourselves. And then things like divorce happen. But it's absolutely natural. We go into it unknowingly that this is what happens. So sometimes it hurts so much when it breaks apart, because we think we're taking it as a huge blow to who we are in a way, in other ways. But what it is you actually have transcended each other. And another great example for this, a very classic example of this, is another person I know was very irritated with, so it's two workers, right? Two workers working for the same person. And one is extremely hardworking, works in multiple jobs, and then comes to this position and gives all of himself. And then there is another work. Let's call both of them he, right? So one is a very hard worker. The other one is like lagging, like barely working, barely doing anything. Meanwhile, he still manages to keep the job. And the guy who's working very, very hard is irritated. He's like, how come this lazy guy who's not doing anything, is the one can keep this position, or with this incredible boss of theirs? How come the boss doesn't see, or how come the boss still has him around? The thing is, and this is a classic situation, the thing is that first of all, both guys are the aspects of the boss who hired them. So boss clearly has two sides of him. He has that lazy side that is very kind of relaxed and just wings it through life. And then he has a very responsible side that actually goes and does the required work to move the business forward. Now, those two aspects are clearly clashing with each other, because one aspect is like, okay, we need to, invest and make this business more profitable, but for that we need to invest. And the aspect that is like the lazy aspect is like, no, like why spend money? Like, it's gonna happen anyway. It's happening already, like just the way it is. And this is the conversation that's going on inside the boss's head. Do you understand? And you represent the aspect of the person who hired you. And now it's about which one of you is going to step to the front, is the one that will win inside the boss's mind. Is it going to be the guy who is going to say no to any progress and just wing it through life, or is it going to be the aspect that is ready to maybe invest into things that feel somewhat uncomfortable, like Instagram, or like social media, and maybe some other things, where the boss is completely against that. But you can just observe this battle inside the boss's mind manifest through these human beings. That's how we find each other. That's how why we're at certain times our paths cross, is because that's an aspect of you that you are transcending right now. Now, another thing is that the guy who is very hardworking clearly also has the lazy aspect within him in form of this guy. So this guy came to him, and he's so tough on this guy, because he's so tough on his aspect within himself, that is the lazy aspect. So however he is treating that aspect within him is exactly how he's going to treat the person in front of him that represents that aspect. It is, what else? It is great to transcend your aspects. Most of the time, you will also transcend the person. So that's why it is such a solo journey. When you're on a spiritual journey, people appear in the physical as already a manifestation of the lesson, and a lot of times you will go your separate ways right after. Now, it is great when you transcend an aspect of yourself, and you just naturally let go of someone. Hopefully that someone did not get attached to you. Now, it is much more uncomfortable when somebody has transcended you, and this happens all the time. Believe me, that people will be transcending you just as much as you transcend them. Sometimes you will find yourself very attracted to a certain type of a person, and as you appear in their lives, but you'll hang out, and everything will seem fine, and then all of a sudden it misaligns, and you don't hang out anymore, and you're like, well, what happened? I thought everything was so great. Well, guess what? You showed up as an aspect of that person that person was transcending, and guess what? They transcended that aspect. They decided that it's not for them, right? And they let you go, or and maybe even if they didn't do it consciously, the world will work out in such a way that the circumstances will not allow for you to meet anymore. The schedules will not align. Things will just bring you apart because you've transcended each other. And a lot of times it hurts, because sometimes you meet an aspect of yourself that you want to be like that aspect, but because you're not there yet, that aspect have already transcended you. So at that point, this is what you gotta do. You gotta think hard. Okay, what did I like about that person? Which aspect is that? So I wanted that now work on myself to lift myself up, or expand myself, or internalize myself. However, I'm not saying high is higher, better, lower, worse. No, lower myself, bring myself up to the same level as that aspect, and basically transcend myself, transcend something within myself that I don't like, to become more like that, right? So then your internal work begins. It's a beautiful observation to see the world, how it works this way. I guarantee you that if you start observing the world this way, you will see that it is absolutely true, and that's exactly how it works. Now, it is great when you come to a place when you can find kindness to all of your aspects, when you can find kindness and acceptance to all of your aspects. And by accepting them, they also might disappear, right? Because you're just annulled, you're non-reactive, and but they're still reactive, and they need a reaction out of you. And since they're not getting a reaction out of you, they're going to get bored, and they're going to just go and find someone who's going to give them reaction. So things like that happen all the time. Now, there is another very cool thing about this, and this is our children. All the aspects that we haven't transcended, that we either put on a back burner, decided not to deal with, couldn't transcend, or maybe chose to accept, right, that we've transcended and chose to keep this aspect, or I like this aspect of myself, right, I'm gonna keep it. It all solidifies into form in the form of our children. So now they're all the aspects that we either have not transcended, either by choice or because we chickened out on transcending something and decided that we want to stay in a comfort zone, and now our children will have to transcend those aspects for us, right? And the interesting thing is that, so basically you will see within your children aspects of yourself that you're like, shoot, I did not transcend that. Like, oh, I see that's me. I do that. Ouch, ouch. Yeah, too late now. Or you will see aspects of yourself that you absolutely love, and you're like, I'm glad I kept that aspect of myself, and now I see it within my child. So the children are going to be transcending things that we haven't transcended. And guess what? A very interesting thing happens, that our children are then free to transcend us. Right? I cannot yet externalize it. I understand how it works within my mind. I don't know if I'm ready to speak it out in a way that it makes total sense, but we cannot transcend our children because it's us. It's a package of aspects that we decided to not either deal with or to keep because we love them so much. So that's untranscendable. That's beyond the point of transcending it. And our children, on the other hand, are able to look at us and say, hey, you know what? I don't want that aspect within me. And they can transcend us. What was I going to say? There is one more thing. Now, this is not to say that you can't help your child transcend something. I've actually transcended when I realized that this is what's going on. I jumped out of myself to make sure that I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit drinking coffee. When I realized right in front of me are the children that are going to have to deal with this. If I don't deal with this right now, then I don't know if they have a chance. So I immediately, when the understanding sinked in, when I really realized that that's what's happening, I made sure that I quit, that I clear our thread, that I clear our line in this way. So out of all of my things in life, I would say this was the hardest and my most valuable accomplishment that that I've transcended alcoholism and smoking and being just addicted to stimulants, coffee, this and that, and whatever you name it. That I know now I lifted that away from the forefront of our game. And I'm sure that they will have other things to transcend, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, I say that at least we're going to get there in clarity, complete clarity, and knowing and seeing, understanding what it is that is going on. And I say that when you're clear about that, that's half the job is done, right? When I, like today in the morning, when I can recognize that the homesteader girl makes me want to throw up because she is the part of me that I have been transcending for so long, right? That she creates this reaction in me, and it's an indicator that I'm out of balance, that it's now in my life, that somehow I've allowed something to tip me into the point where she's now manifest, and I am now reactive towards that aspect. So the ability to recognize that is gold. Although, you know, I would love to be like gold myself, and when I'm immersed into any solution to stay non-reactive, in a way, I understand that that's the goal of alchemical process, but in a way, I do like my reactions, right? That's it. It's an exploration. A reaction is an exploration of yourself. When something makes you react, this is how you get to know yourself. And all the aspects that show up in your life, all the people that show up, even if for a short time, it's sort of like the 12 apostles, you know, from the Last Supper, you know, when you're all sitting in front of it, you get to know yourself. It means that the lesson has come. If you have reacted, it means that there is a lesson. You're in school. The life is gifting you knowledge right now. So I'm not there yet where I'm like, I want to be completely non-reactive, because it's kind of like, and then what? You know, then I'm just an observer. I like that life still has these lessons for me. I'm still getting to know myself. I'm still falling out of balance here and there, and getting into my more masculine energy. Not to say that my masculine is imbalanced, but when my feminine is lost behind and he has to take over, then he's overwhelmed. He becomes imbalanced. But even recognizing that it's a joy. It's an enjoying. The process is, it's miraculous. It's miraculous, to say the least. Okay, I'm at 44 minutes. I will enjoy the sunset now. I am back in balance, and all it took for me when I started tipping over, you know, I spend all day doing my duty as a mother, as a human being in this lively city. And then I took time for myself, and I went to the beach, and nature just has the key to my heart, has the key to my balance. The moment I laid down on that sand and passed out for however long I passed out, you know, she did her work on me, I woke up a balanced person again. And it's not easy for me being away from Shasta, but there are places here in LA, hidden gems, where energies are so pure, and you can go there and get recharged. Find those places, get there the moment you feel out of balance, because as I said, there is no space and no time. Both are illusions. It's just how you perceive the world. So if your perception is skewed, your number one priority should be rebalancing yourself, not changing the world, not blaming the time, but focusing on rebalancing yourself. And then you're going to align with the reality that you want to see when you are in a balanced state. I love you. I wish everyone an amazing Friday. It's our last day at school tomorrow. It's huge. It's huge for kids. It's huge for parents. It's big for everyone. We're all affected by whether our children are in school or out of school. If you don't have children, please know how much summer means to them. And if you see children out on the beach, if you see children out biking on the road, please drive slow. Please take your time. Please be patient with them. This is their time to live. This is their time to shine. Summertime is their time. Let's all protect them. Let's respect this precious time of learning through communication with nature outside the classroom. Let's make this time as magical as possible for them. All right. I love you. Bye.